Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Instagram podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and with me today as a special guest, last minute, is Kate. Kate, how are you?
It's Kate. Yay, I'm good. How are you, Christopher?
I'm doing good. So, of course, for those of you curious, some stuff came up and we had to change plans last minute. Kate immediately was like, I'm in. I didn't even have to ask. For those of you that haven't listened to many of the podcast episodes, Kate is a good friend of mine. We used to be roommates. We used to be coworkers, and now we are none of that. Separated by a few cities. And Kate's been on the podcast before, so this is nothing new.
A year ago.
Today, a year. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I looked it up.
We were able to do this in person, right?
What does that mean?
So we're going to be reviewing a little thing called Into the Forest of Fireflies Light. We'll talk about that in a bit. It's just a movie from 2011 that I found. I'm just looking for movies that people enjoyed during some years where anime was sporadic in my life, and I'm just, kind of checking out what there is. So this is what Juan and I found. A nice, easy thing, because whoever listened to the last episode knows that Juan's getting pretty overwhelmed with school, and that's what's going on this week. So I chose a short little 45-minute movie that I found online, and Kate had enough time to watch it. It was all right. It was fine. It was a good time.
Perfect timing.
So what has been new in the last year? Any big life changes to you, Kate?
I don't think so. I was trying to think if the last time we did the podcast together, if I was working at Rivermaid, but I'm pretty sure I was.
You were.
I did take over the sister companies accounts, so that's been double work, which is right now I've been super busy. It's holiday season, and they make gift baskets, so it's Christmas is their busiest time.
Yeah.
So I've been working a lot of overtime and making all the money, which, is good, but I'm tired. So when you're it's only a 50-minute or 40-minute video, I was like, cool, I could do that.
Yeah, this was a nice, easy, just hop in, watch it. It's not available to watch anywhere, so we found it on Dailymotion.
Is that a legit
I would have loved
site?
to watch it somewhere else. I mean, it's Dailymotion is it's a YouTube side kind of thing, It accomplishes the same thing. You can have an account, you can post videos. It's just less regulated. So every once in a while, there's something that kind of slips through the cracks, anime stuff. And weird animations. A lot of music videos go on there. I think there's another one that starts with a V, which is
Vimeo or something like that.
Vimeo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That one is also like Dailymotion, but it's a lot higher content.
I see.
From what I've seen on there, it's a lot of foreign music videos get posted on there. And maybe just a bunch of regular ones. I don't know. I only watch the weird shit people post.
Well, we
weird
shit here.
Your life hasn't changed a lot is what you're saying.
Well, okay. So my job situation hasn't changed much, but I'm still living in the same place. I still have a dog. She's asleep over there.
Still named after
after a fairy tale. Yep. I was watching a lot of fairy tale at the time. But I do have a roommate now, which is new within the last month or so.
And I believe they've also been on our podcast.
Yeah. Duncan, he was on the podcast before I was, I think, when he lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he got a job and he lived out in Texas. And then COVID happened. And I think he was only there for, I don't even know if he hit a year, to be honest. But he got laid off because COVID stuff. And then my husband and him are best friends. So he was well, if you want to we've got a spare room. You can stay here if you want, get back on your feet. Because he's trying to get a job back in California where all his family and friends are. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And it's been 3 years since then.
Yeah, pretty much. No, he moved in on Halloween weekend. So we're always moving on Halloween or something's happening on Halloween for some reason. I don't know.
I know that I had to move on Halloween once. I know that for sure. And then we stayed at that place. That was where you lived with me for a bit.
Yeah, the house was cool.
I like that. I nostalgically like think about that house from time to time. Just the different things, the different phases.
Yeah.
The coming home and watching anime with you period. The like
Yeah.
coming home and then the roommates just watched Westworld and they were fucking mad at season 2. You know, that kind of shit.
Josh screaming at the top of his lungs playing video games.
Yeah, man, just hanging out, playing a little bit of League and screaming his fucking head off. That good shit.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah,
What about
Duncan's living with you now.
Yeah, so he's
So-
living here and he's got a dog, so I was a little nervous at first just
Mhm.
because I didn't know how Lucy was going to react with Bishop, and
Plus,
getting-
Bishop wasn't even named after anime.
I know, noob. But he's very sweet. He's 8 now, not Duncan, Bishop. And Lucy's she's going to be 4 in February, but she still acts like a giant puppy.
Oh yeah.
So Bishop gets over her pretty fast, but they're doing pretty good, like hanging out. There hasn't been too many squabbles, so that's nice. We have a strict
That's
no
good.
toy rule in the kitchen or in the living room.
Oh, no toys in the kitchen. That's
Yeah,
a good call. Yeah.
Because Lucy is like, oh, this is mine, and I will growl at you. And then things escalate. So
Hell
no
yeah.
toys.
And your anime life lately, you haven't been diving too
Ooh.
hard into anything, right?
Ooh, I have been on a bit of a hiatus with anime because I've spent the last month and a half watching all of 15 seasons of Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of that show. It's like an hour long and there's like 23 episodes in each season and there's 15 seasons. And that just came to an end like last month. So
Yeah. So now you're going to hop back on that train and
Yeah.
you're just going to see all the good shit that you've missed.
pretty much.
Except you have been watching Attack on Titan.
Yes.
So-
Attack on Titan came out and I had to wait for Abram for a week.
Mhm.
And my friend Neil, who we've talked about before, he texted me pretty much like every day. Was like, "Did you watch it yet? Did you watch it yet?"
Like,
So
I'm
it's
not
I'm
trying to
doing it.
harass anybody into watching it because, like,
But I don't think
some
he has.
people like to binge shit, you know?
I'm a giant binger, but I don't think he has very many friends who watch anime.
Oh, dude, I get it.
So,
I 100% get it.
It's like, I need to talk to somebody about this, and you're the only one I got.
My mom hasn't watched it yet, and that's upsetting
She's
me.
caught up now, right?
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
for
So
this
she
new
just-
season.
She hasn't watched the last couple episodes, so I am very eager to find out how she feels about things
Yeah.
because I don't think she's been caught up until now. I think
Yeah.
she watched season 3 late or something. I don't know.
Makes sense.
I'm stoked. I am having a fucking good time with Attack on Titan. Wasn't
I
sure
am
how I
too.
felt at first. We'll talk about it a little bit more later.
Yeah.
Without too many spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilies.
But yeah, man, your anime time hasn't been significant. The last thing you watched that would be close to anime would be the Avatar series, I think, which we watched together.
Yep.
Yep.
And even when we were watching that, I was like still watching Supernatural. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's taken me a while. I watched like the first like 8 seasons when it was like airing back in like, I don't know, 2010. It's been on the air since like 2008
Yeah,
or something. And yeah, so basically I just caught up. Like I had stopped watching, so I rewatched the whole thing. And you know, this whole COVID time has been very depressing, and I like to feel my comfort shows, and that has become like a comfort show. So I've been forcing Duncan to watch like my favorite episodes, and I'm like, I need to stop. This is unhealthy. How much I
So
watch
we're back
this.
on anime.
Yeah. Time to move to something new.
When you
So
look
I-
at anime as like the healthy thing to do,
I know.
what's that mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's something wrong if that's the case.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on this season. I think that there's a little bit of everything for everyone, and I'm excited for you to watch some of it.
Me too. I haven't missed any of the episodes, so I've been like kind of keeping track, but I'm really bad with names, so I'm gonna have to be like, send me a list of the ones
Yeah.
that are actually worth watching. But
Yeah,
I mean,
because when I'm talking about a Salt Lily Bouquet, it's like, okay, that's not a good one. It's got too many weird things in there. I know that for sure.
yeah,
But then, like, is the Gymnastic Samurai a good thing? Like, it's kind of a weird
I don't
name.
know, man.
Akudama Drive just sounds like nothing at all until
Yeah.
you see it, and you're like, yeah, Akudama Drive.
Pretty much. But it's crazy because like there's just so much anime that I missed like this whole season pretty much. And I know next season, all the shows that I watch are coming back. Next season's going to be lit.
We are like weeks away.
I know. I'm like, shit, I got to catch up on this season before I have to get into next season. But
wild.
You know.
So this week, I'm considering this week my birthday episode of the podcast. I wasn't sure if it should be this week or next week, but next week is Christmas. So we're doing Christmas next week.
That's what this
is a Christmas podcast. Oh shit, Juan's not here. I can make a bunch of instant ramen podcast stance. I can do so many stances right now.
It's the stance time. He can't object.
But yeah, we are a holiday podcast. From this point on, we will only be like each week is going to be a new celebration. Sometimes we'll tell you, sometimes we won't. But this week, the holiday is my birthday, which is December 19th. I'm turning 29. I'm almost at that big 30, which people are afraid of, but I don't feel like anything.
You're a wee little baby.
I'm just fucking watching anime and vibing with the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I already hit the big 3-0, so welcome to the almost club.
Dude, it's like whatever. Like,
yeah, it is whatever.
Age.
I'm about to be 31, bro. 2 months.
2 months. It's pretty wild. So anyways, a little bit of our backstory aside from being coworkers and roommates and shit. We met 2000, I want to say 2012.
Is that when you moved back?
I think that's when I moved back to Chico and I started working at Starbucks.
Makes sense.
And from that point on, we were friends pretty quick, and everybody at our job was friends. It was just like, you know, there were some people that were like on the edge of friendship, but they would still show up to like some of the same
events.
Things. Everybody was invited to like everything. All of that bullshit. So we've just kind of been hanging out since
Starbucks is like a weird bonding experience where everything's terrible and on fire. And so you just are like, hey, we're all friends because we're all suffering. And yeah, that's where all my best friends are from.
My friends still send me shit about Starbucks like all the time.
Yeah.
Like somebody just sent me a TikTok today of a holiday order for drinks at Starbucks through mobile order. Oh my god, dude, it was like 100 drinks, and I'm like, I remember those kinds of days. There were like 4 layers of stacks all along the bar.
Oh my god.
Ooh, man, I saw that, was like, had those days before. All right, dude. But then you know for a fact that more than half of those drinks fucking suck. They were made like an hour ago.
Yeah, why would you order that many all at once? That's terrible.
It's so dumb. I mean, I get the idea is like, oh, you're trying to treat people, but like...
Yeah, but it takes time, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be so awful. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just sent that one recently, and it triggered me a little bit, but I was
gives
also
you
like...
PTSD.
Good times, though, because I remember on like working Christmas at Starbucks was a lot of fun.
I did that every year.
Yeah, it was crazy and it was fast.
Supervisor in charge.
I think you might have... I don't remember.
I don't know if it was every year.
There was a newer supervisor during one Christmas, and I remember being like, that was the easiest shit ever. And I think it was you, but it might not have been. Or it could have... Did you ever... You would have been supervisor because you worked at a different store, but then only one Starbucks was open, and that was mine.
It sure was. I did it, I think 2 or 3 times. One time I was supposed to hand over, and I was like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to count over in the middle of this shit show. No. So I just took the whole day.
Dumb.
And you have to like, because there's only one store open. You had to like designate the phone to someone because everyone's like, are you guys open? Like calling every 5 seconds.
Dude, oh man, some shit
remember
that you forget about. Because like, who calls a fast food chain? You know,
everyone. If it's please be open, I need coffee.
It's literally everyone. Yeah, but I don't remember exactly when we started like figuring out that both of us enjoyed anime, but I know we talked about it, and you were like, "Yeah, dude, Akira's like my favorite."
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, I support that.
Super good. I think the last time I came on the podcast, you're like, all right, we'll come back. We'll do another podcast episode when there's a live action Akira.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
and,
so basically never?
Yeah, that shit's never going to fucking happen.
No.
So anyways, you had to force yourself back on here, which I respect.
Mm-hmm.
It shows a lot of intuition.
That's right.
It shows that you know what opportunity to leap on.
Yeah,
and...
my initiative of like, what? You're doing it alone? No.
I was just like, I know that you and Abe have a very nice microphone now that we could work around and make this all happen. And I was like, should I hit up Abe? Because he hasn't been on the podcast yet.
No.
But I also don't want to like put anybody in like a bad position at the last minute. Because I found out essentially like almost 24 hours ago. And I didn't want to
that one
put
couldn't come
pressure on anyone. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I don't want to make anybody watch anything. I don't want to make anyone do that. But then you were like, bro, I'll be on it. I was like, go watch this 45 minutes. Fuck you. This is dope.
I left work a little bit early because I was like, well, I'm going to go home and I don't want to rush. And I want to watch it and actually get to watch it. So I came home like, I've been working hell overtime though. So I'm like, bitch, I'm leaving a little early. And they're like, okay, bye. See you later. So it wasn't a big deal. But I got home and the sun was still out, which is amazing.
That never happens.
No, not now.
So you got home at like 3?
No, it was like 4:45 when I got here.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to be on the podcast. I always get nervous, though. So
I know, but that's the thing. I also didn't want to like... I feel like every single time that we know that we're going to have somebody's not going to be on the podcast and we need to find some guest to be on it. We usually have more time and it's usually like it's all good. I know it's kind of a weird thing. Think about it, but this was you going ahead and inviting yourself.
That's right.
And beforehand, the last time we did it, you were like, dude, I was so nervous and that wound up being chill.
Yeah.
And it's really just we're broing down. There's nothing new here that's going to surprise you and throw you off,
That's right. Except for your long, beautiful hair.
Oh, yeah. My hair is hella long now. I'm all about it personally. I
like it. I'm serious. I think you should keep it.
I want to keep it now that it's at this point again because I had long hair for so long. Like, I had long hair for a bit when I was working at Starbucks, I think.
I feel like your hair was pretty long when we were like working together and living together. You've always had like longer hair than like, I don't know, Abe. He always cuts his hair. So. Oh,
dude, no. I straight up, I don't know how, I don't remember this, but when I decided, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have short hair. Like, I'm just going to see if I vibe with it. And I totally did. And when I say short, I mean like, like long for some people, but short as fuck for me. When I did that, I went to your old roommate, Sandra.
Yeah,
and
dude.
She's the one that hit me up with her first time with a fresh new cut. And she was hella sad. She was like, dude, but your long hair is so gorgeous.
She loves long hair. Her boyfriend has his hair is longer than yours, I think.
Yeah.
And he's got a crazy beard too. So it's just hair everywhere. But
sorry to completely interrupt that.
Well, it's chill.
I can't believe I forgot. You guys just listened about like 20 minutes ago. You just heard the new intro to the podcast. What did you think? It's fucking awesome. Tom decided to make us a new intro because it's Christmas time and he loves me and it's one of the sweetest things anyone has given me. And I was just chilling at work because we've hit up Tom to do our intro. And we're like, hey, man, could you do this? Like, maybe make it sound like this. And then this one is just like, here you go. Merry Christmas. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's pretty awesome. Stoked. I'm excited to listen to it.
Yeah, I know you haven't heard it.
I haven't. I'm super excited.
I'm not going to show it to you. This is going to be
I want a surprise.
Secret. Yeah, this is going to be for tomorrow.
I need
when
something.
The podcast comes out.
Because I'm going to listen to this episode, and then I'm going to be like, oh, it's me.
He's such a sweetie. I still haven't listened to it on my computer with my headphones.
I miss Tom.
I was at work when I got it. Tom is a beautiful soul. I love Tom.
He is. Is he still in Ohio?
Right now, he's in Chico because he had a dentist appointment yesterday, and he's going to head back to the coast and stay with his family for Christmas.
He came here for the dentist?
I mean, it's Christmas time.
Well, okay, that's fair. But he has a dentist in a completely different state that he doesn't live in? I'm so confused.
You don't need to go to the dentist often, right? So that's kind of the whole
6 months?
thing. He schedules it around his family like visiting time.
Okay.
So he makes it work. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, he did that intro and he was like, "Hey man, let me know if there's anything that I need to adjust in that or that you want to hear differently." It's really easy. So he's been just like working on so much music. And
That's
it's
awesome.
so cool that part of that is for the podcast that
I like when he
hates.
He hates this podcast?
I don't know.
I like when he posts new music. I usually listen to it on like YouTube.
Yeah. Juan is
whatever.
like, he listens to Tom's cover of Tame Impala
It's so good.
fucking much. It's hella funny. I mean, yeah, of course. It's incredible. I like it. I might be biased. I might be a little bit biased, but I like it more than Tame Impala. I can understand the lyrics and it sounds fucking beautiful. It sounds just like Tame Impala, but like I understand what is being said and it still has that like the Tame Impala voice, but in my friend.
Yep.
You know?
It's real good.
It's good shit. So yeah, anyways, I guess I'll talk about what I've been doing this week.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
What's your life like?
I don't know, not much has been going on. I beat Demon's Souls, which is a big tough game that I've been playing for a while, and I just busted through the last 2 worlds in like one night and didn't have any
How long did
trouble.
that take?
Not long, dude. It was I don't know. The most that I had to restart was on the boss that was it was another player. Because I'm not good at PvP stuff because it's laggy and weird and you pretty much have to learn how to deal with that. And I don't want to, so fuck it. And so that one took me probably like 5 times. I think maybe 6. 5 or 6 times. And nothing else took me that many tries. It was the easiest Souls game by far.
That's crazy.
I've recommended to a couple of friends, do not play it. You will not enjoy it because it's not the same level of challenging as you would like. So yeah, it
the
started
other ones
off
are harder.
Yeah, the other ones are way harder and like less gimmicky. I guess one of the personal reasons that I enjoyed Demon's Souls so much is because of the gimmicky fights, to where you're fighting a manta ray demon flying around in the sky, shooting you with crystals, spawning a bunch of little baby manta rays to do the same thing. And you're like, how the fuck do I attack this thing? Well, it turns out what you're supposed to do is you just run through the entire map, which is just a bunch of like crags and rocks and stuff on a cliffside. There's a sword that's put at the edge of a cliff and it's like stuck into the cliff. You pull that out and then that sword shoots wind. And that's how you're supposed to beat the fight. It's not like it's hard. You just go hide when it shoots stuff at you, and then you pop out and you go, here's some wind. And you do that a few times and kill it. But I fucking loved that fight. It was so cool because it's scary, the fact that it's in the sky and just tons of stuff are shooting things at you, and you got to run through nice and quick. But then it was just like kind of a cool looking fight, and it was just rad, and I was vibing. It was fine. I don't remember what the last fight was. It just wasn't that memorable. None of these bosses were super memorable, but they were all kind of gimmicky. The whole last area was like a leech monster. It was just a ton of leeches, you know, like an amalgamation of leeches. Leeches don't like fire, so I hit it with fire, and it only touched me once, and it was no big deal.
That's pretty crazy for Demon's Souls. I think I was texting you about this, that you think it's because it was like a remake? Like,
I mean,
the
in a way,
original
yes.
game, so they just made the other ones way harder, like with knowledge of like, we want to screw people.
It's okay. So, so not exactly that. The other Souls games have very different mechanics compared to this. And by that, I mean like the windows for attacks and deflecting attacks and parrying and all that shit. The windows are a little bit different for each game because some are very fast and smooth and some are slower. And it's a funky... They all feel significantly different, even though it's almost the same. So through those new kinds of like combat and movement and all of that stuff, they have naturally made the games harder in a fair way to where like once you figure it out, you fucking got it, but it's hard to figure it out. So you'll go through entire areas without dying at all, and then you won't even be able to make it to the boss of a certain area because you just get fucking screwed as you keep trying to like run past this thing and you're not being patient or whatever it is. Demon Souls feels like if you make it through the area, you'll be fine. There are a couple of spots that you got to slow down at, whatever. So I think it just comes down to knowledge of what made your game work well in the first place and how do we make it work even better. This was just a crisp version of that original game, and man, it looked good, but it was not that challenging.
Yeah.
And once I beat it, I was like, time to play Cyberpunk, I guess.
That was my next question is, are you playing it? That came out like this past week, right?
Yeah, so it came out on Thursday, or maybe it was Wednesday night. I don't remember how it worked out. I wasn't sure if I was going to play this game or not. It had very similar kind of like, it had a similar feeling as Outer Worlds, which is a game made by a lot of the people that were involved with like Fallout and stuff like that have, they're into RPG shit, you know, just a lot of like talking options and whatnot. But I hated the way the combat looked, and I didn't give a fuck about what people were saying because the combat looked so tedious to me. I didn't want to do anything in between. So that game was going the entire different direction than what I wanted. And I was looking at Cyberpunk feeling like, okay, well, the gameplay looks really sweet. Let's just kind of see what happens. And then after watching somebody play it for 30 minutes on like a super smooth, beautiful computer, I was like, yeah, I think I can handle this. So I decided to get it.
Are you playing it on PS5?
I'm playing it on my computer. No.
I've heard some nice little horror stories from some people with consoles.
The game's fucking awful on console. My coworker Emily's husband has been very excited about it. And I just found that out like when it was about to come out. I'm like, okay, cool, right on. And he was getting all stoked to play it after work. And at this point, I was already hearing everything terrible about the game.
Was he PS4ing it?
He was Xbox One-ing it, which is it's the same thing. So I heard all these bad things, and I'm like, hey, Emily, you probably should prepare him and let him know that it's going to be a super buggy mess. And he might just want to wait to play it a little bit before they fix it. And she's like, oh, dude, thanks for the heads up. Like, I'll let him know. And she texts me, and she's like, Justin said Chris doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then proceeded to play the game and go, God damn it, he was right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just reporting back, man. I haven't played it. I don't know anything. I just thought that was hilarious. How before he even played it, he's like Chris needs to shut the fuck up. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. I'm excited about cool game too. But so anyways, I got it. I was kind of disappointed at first because my computer's pretty new. It's a couple years old. I didn't get the best graphics card at the time, but I got like one of the ones right down underneath the best one. And I tried to get everything super new so I wouldn't have to replace anything. It's been 2.5 years, and I figured it should still be able to run everything on the highest settings, or if not the highest, maybe just adjust a few to be like lower, and then we'll still be smooth. It could not run this game on ultra settings. It could not run this game on hard, or not hard, on high settings. It couldn't run it on medium settings.
Oh no.
Until I messed with a couple of settings on there. And so it's like a little bit worse than medium is what I was running off of. And I was fucking disappointed. It was clunky and bad looking, and I didn't understand what was going on. But I was still having like kind of fun with it. It was a fun ass game. That's what my friends have been saying. They're like, it doesn't look great, but it's fun. I've got 2 friends that are playing on PS4, and they're like, this shit looks disgusting, but I goddamn love the writing, so I'm going to keep playing it. And then my other good friend of the podcast, Eliza, she already beat it. She beat it, had an amazing time. She fucking loved it. So she's playing through it again. And at this point, I looked something up. I found something that said the game doesn't have the correct settings for computer. It's set up to run off of a PS4 and Xbox One, and it matches the settings for that for your PC. So if you go in and you change those to match whatever your PC's settings are, whatever your PC's hardware is, then you're good to go.
I see.
So I went in, I changed some stuff, I made it run on Ultra, and it's smooth as fuck, and it looks fucking amazing. Holy shit, it looks so good. Probably the best looking game I've ever played. And I played it for like 30 minutes on those settings and went, okay, time to play Cuphead with Tom. And then Tom and I played a little bit of Cuphead and had a nice little time. Dude, holy shit. It looks so good. It's fun. I really like it. Totally not a game for everybody. But it's incredible. I'm so excited to see what this game is like after they make changes and make it better.
Fix it.
Fix all of the glaring issues. There's still bugs, but I've never really given a fuck about bugs. I mean, people love Skyrim, and that game is like Bug City, you know?
As long as the game is still functional, like if you can actually play the game, I don't really mind bugs, like people walking through walls or whatever, as long as it doesn't break the game. If it's game breaking, then it's infuriating.
And that's kind of what it was for a lot of people.
That's what I've heard. That I like read on the news, like on my BBC News app. It's like the first thing I check in the morning, and then it's like, oh, the game developer came out being like, hey, you can have refunds for console.
Yeah, which is a pretty big deal.
Fucked up.
That's not something that happens very often. Yeah, pretty big bummer, but holy shit, it's a fun game. I want to really play it.
I think we're gonna end up getting it when I eventually one day get a PS5, which, you know, maybe will be next year at some point when Sony gets their shit together.
From what I understand, it runs okay on PS5 and Xbox Series, whatever.
I'm hoping by the time that I get one, it will run really good.
I think those are some pretty high hopes.
I know.
But it's super fun, so even if you do play it, you're gonna have a great time. I haven't gotten anywhere in the story. I've just been doing side quests because the stuff that I love is killing people, picking stuff off of them, and like junking it, selling it, like disposing of it. I have a fun ass time with that. So I haven't even done the prologue yet, I guess. I thought I did because it was like, hop in the car with me or not. And I was like, okay, bye. I just went and started doing other shit, right? Turns out I'm nowhere. I don't even know what the game's about. I could go ahead and check and see how many hours I've put into it already. Because I put 10 hours into this game and I haven't even passed the prologue.
That's pretty sweet.
It's fun. It's beautiful. It's cool. I like a lot of the customizing parts of it, but I do think it's stupid as fuck that you don't get to see yourself that much or like at all, other than when you're putting clothes on, like armor and stuff, or like changing your weapons or whatever. Those are the only times you get to see yourself. You don't get to see yourself interacting with the world too much. So I had the difficult decision. I like to play a lot of first-person games with male characters, male voices, because it helps me, you know, get into that like person
immersed.
A little bit more. Yeah, I get more immersed. Mm-hmm. But then Eliza told me, yeah, but you don't really see any of your body. And I was like, ooh, okay, well, then it doesn't really affect too much. I'll do a first-person thing as a guy. And she's like, but the only parts that you do see are your hands. And if you're a girl, you could have cool nails. And I'm like, all right, I'm a chick. Let's do it, baby. So that was that's a very big decision. I was struggling with it, dude. It was a few days of being like, oh man, do I want to be a girl or a boy?
You love character creation too. I remember when you got Demon Souls, you were like, I just spent like an hour and a half on my character creation for a game that they get covered completely up with all their armor. So
it's true. I never even.
I love
every once in a while, I would see what my character's face looks like,
and
I'm like,
I forgot.
Oh, damn, I'm hot. Like, yeah, so that's the same thing as this game, but the super disappointing thing is that whenever you wear certain hats, when you look at yourself in the mirror, because you can look at yourself in the mirror and make faces and shit and take pictures if you wanted to. I think that's the purpose. I was wearing a hat and then it shows my character is bald and I'm like, bro, that's not what I fucking want to look like. I want to have my badass hair that I spent all this time deciding on what color do I want, what style do I want, what am I looking for? Yeah, dude, it's a buggy ass game. It's a fun game. Cyberpunk is for sure worth taking a look at if you have the right hardware.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip it for now.
So bad. But yeah, Eliza hit me up and she was like, I'm gonna try these new settings. About an hour ago she was texting me about it and she's like, oh my god, I'm just going around looking at everything. It's gorgeous. I've already beaten this game and I'm still just looking at shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's super cool. And then I don't think I've been doing anything else in my personal life. Just kind of like watching shit. Played a little bit of Phasmophobia. The prison level came out, so we played that, and it's pretty fun. A little bit like too creaky as far as noises go. They were trying to like make ghosty prison sounds, but if anything, it's just like there's that sound again, which doesn't mean anything. It just makes me go, oh, was that important? No, it wasn't. It was just some like rattling of chains in the distance. But it's fun, man. Phasmophobia is always a good time. It's nice and scary. I did figure out that I think I prefer, if I'm looking to get spooked, I prefer watching somebody else play because I've become so desensitized. So watching somebody else do it makes me more scared because I'm like worried about them.
Yeah. One of the first times I ever remember coming over to your house, you had a bunch of people over to play some spooky game. Uh-huh. And I remember like we like were in your, there's like 5 of us in your like bedroom.
Yeah, we were all just cuddling.
And we're like, oh my God, I'm going to cover my eyes. It's scary.
Dude, it was great. Yeah,
so
we played
fun that way.
Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Yeah. That was a good time. Not as good as the first Amnesia, but it was a great time. Yeah, so I'm not as scared of Phasmophobia as I was the first like time I played it. So sense. Watching somebody else play it and then like the ghost just shows up right next to them, I'm like, oh god, why is this happening? But I didn't realize that that's because I'm just like sympathetic for the experience they're going through. I'm just putting so much of my effort into like, please, you could do it. I believe in you. You know, like it freaks me the fuck out when my homies are about to get got. I'm going to say that is a majority of what I've been doing in my personal life, and that's that. But work, I only want to share one thing from work.
Give me them work stories.
Without saying too much, there was somebody who lived at my property. They went on hospice, and they recently died. So their family yesterday, their family was going to drop off the keys sometime in the afternoon for the apartment, and they're just like totally done with it. So I was giving our maintenance guy a heads up. I'm like, hey man, they're going to drop off keys. She just died recently. So that's going to happen. That's going to happen soon. And he's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like as soon as I said, she just died, so they'll drop off keys soon. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, is it? Is it what you're talking about? And then he's just like, yeah, dude, once you're gone, no more pain, no more worries, baby. He's just like, dude, we're at work right now. Like, try to be professional. You can't, when I say, yeah, this person just passed away, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
So, dude, I couldn't handle it. I was just like, what? Like, this is a real person. This isn't just a hypothetical person. This is a person that lived here that we know.
Was there like, people around?
Was there what?
Was there people around, or was he just saying it to you?
Oh, yeah. No, there was somebody else who was with him. It was one of the painters. And then behind them was my coworker, Emily. And as soon as that happened, Emily just snaps her head up and like looks as like, what the fuck? Like making faces at me in the background. Dude, I don't know. But the whole rest of the day, it was just whenever one of us would say something that like didn't really matter too much, didn't need a response at all, the other person would just say, that's what I'm talking about. And then I got to do that when she was talking about her like old pet that died or something like that. Oh. Yeah, she was like, yeah, my old dead pet, that's what I'm talking about. Just get to just to lighten the mood now, because god damn it, what the fuck kind of response was that?
I don't know. COVID's been pretty crazy for a lot of people, man. Everyone's just like, fuck it.
I think you're defending this dude a little bit too much. But, but holy shit, I could not.
That's hilarious.
How do you even respond to that? Yeah, so my coworker Emily has also been saying, is it? Just to like a lot of things. And we I guess I'll share one more thing because it was a very last minute thing that happened today. We normally around this time of year give a bunch of like gift cards to families so that they could buy a little extra present for their kids or something like that, make it a little bit easier on them, which I think is a cool thing for our company to do. So we give out all these gift cards to families, and we finished putting everything together around like 3 or so. We were working on it all day, writing like little notes, writing the amounts on the cards, getting everything together and tucking them all away. Of course, we can't lick the envelopes, thankfully. So we just put little pieces of tape right on the tip. And then at, I don't know, like 5:15 today, I get a call from another property and they go, hey, I don't know if you got the same cards that we got, but we just noticed that a bunch of them say stuff about God and Jesus and have like prayers on there. And we're like, oh, fuck. Because that for sure, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want as like a regular ass person, but as a
not
business,
as a company,
as a business, especially with housing stuff, fair housing, you have to make sure not to be like discriminatory in any way. And if we're trying to shove this stuff down your throat, like, no, this could be a lawsuit like that. I was so glad that we got called about that because we didn't want to hand any out today because we got finished so late in the day and we need to hand it to them because it's money. So we can't just like put it in their door or whatever. So we got lucky at the last minute that they called and we're like, yo, there's a bunch of stuff that says God and Jesus. And we're going through and we're just like, happy holidays. I hope your season is wonderful. And then it has like a prayer at the bottom. We're like, oh no, you can't have a Bible verse, dude.
Oh, that sucks.
What the fuck? Other ones, like the most generic ones that are just happy holidays, like hope you have a wonderful winter with Jesus and God. And then you're like, ah, dude, where did those two last lines go? Like nothing about Christmas at all. It just slips in and it's like, by the way, Jesus Christ, we thank him every day. Like, tight, dude. Yeah. So we had to go in. Oh, by the way, shout outs to Walmart for not advertising that they're Christian cards on the packs of holiday cards. Shout outs to Walmart.
That sucks. Especially for a housing, man. You can't.
Dude.
I totally see that.
I was so like,
It's a bummer. You have to do it all over again. But yeah, good.
It's not too much. It's just 12 of them. Not all of them did.
That's not
that
bad.
was the thing. That's why nobody caught it. Is because there were only a little bit. They snuck them in there. So yeah, we just need a few in order to place that. I think we had 16 that had some religious stuff on there, and then we had to replace a few of those. Tomorrow we'll finish the rest. But God damn it, I did not expect that at all. Like,
yeah,
I didn't look at them either. I was all the ones that I dealt with. I was just putting cards in and putting it away, like putting the gift cards into the cards. And meanwhile, we read a few of them at the beginning just to see what they said to make sure we would be good. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. That's fine. We could say Christmas instead of holidays and all that shit. Fuck it. It's already on there. I'm not going to throw a big fit. I'm not going to make my company get us something else. Fuck it. And then they all said God shit. So like, what the fuck? But we read a few and called it good.
Oh my God.
It's so stupid. That's my life lately.
I deposited a like almost $500,000 check today. So that was pretty exciting.
For yourself? That's wild, man.
Damn, I wish.
That would be so crazy.
Be at work if I did. Be like, I'm taking a nice long COVID vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Be back when it's over.
My company brings in so much money each month just from rent.
I bet.
And it pisses me off. I'm like very at work all the time. I have to be like, look, guys, I'm very liberal. You can like stop me if if you ever need to. But I don't believe any of these motherfuckers should have to pay for rent right now. Like that's how I feel. Because I know how much our company makes, and I know that we wouldn't be hit that hard as a company if we just chilled the fuck out. But no, okay. Yeah, dude. Anyways, we bring in like 300, like more than 300,000 a month, and it
just for your building,
just for my property. Yeah.
Okay, from your property.
From all the other properties, they bring in less than that because they have less apartments to rent. But we bring in like over $1 million a month as a company, like easily.
Yeah.
And that's fucking insane to me, especially in this little ass town I'm in. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's
feels
true.
Predatory. I don't know. Like I'm very thankful to have a job right now.
Me too.
I respect a lot of the practices that my company does. But some days I just want to fucking quit, and I'm fucking done with it. But I'm the liberal guy on the inside that's trying to help out the little guy.
I feel it. I work in ag, so a lot of people in ag are very like right wing, and I just don't say anything about politics or nothing at work because, well, partly because like mostly because everyone there is like the opposite of me. I'm like a burning liberal, and they're all like the opposite. So
yeah.
It's just,
I'm with you.
I don't want to have any conflict. I'm already tired enough as it is.
Yeah. It's just because of the COVID shit. Whenever COVID shit comes up, I always have to go on a little like liberal rant and be like,
yeah,
bro, nobody should have to pay for anything. Everyone should just be able to live happy.
Yeah.
That's my rant. It's just nonsensical. It doesn't have any factual points to back it up. No,
I like it.
Yeah. That's absolutely not how I do stuff, but I would feel if I was at work and I was just saying shit without any kind of stuff to back it up, then I would feel like such an asshole. I would hate working with me because like, I don't know. I don't want to get into it on a podcast or anything, but God damn it. People that don't back up their political stances when it's something that affects people, like not just because this podcast is just bullshit. If you're listening to this right now, you just know that like everything that we're talking about is absolute bullshit. None of it matters. We're nothing at all. But then
we're everything.
When you're trying, we're everything. It's ramen stance. We're nothing at all and everything all at once. I just feel like it's important to back yourself up when you're trying to make an informed decision about something. When you're trying to change something that will affect other people's lives, you should definitely make as an informed decision as you can. And yeah, at work, I'll back that shit up. But if I'm just talking with homies, no reason to back it up. I figure all of us are kind of on the same page. All of us have done the same kinds of research. So
pretty much.
We've all read the same laws and seen the different ways that different countries have been affected by healthcare, stimulus, and good shit.
There was an SNL bit this last weekend. I don't really watch it, but I caught like a clip, and it was like, we could not have done this worse. And I was like, I mean, yeah,
that's all you
pretty
need.
Much.
Yeah, U.S. is just fucking around. We're having a good time. We have fun here. You know, my town's on lockdown right now, and nothing has changed.
Stuff has changed. Okay. The one thing I do, I don't go out like much except like go get groceries, but on the way to work, I will pick up Starbucks, and I mobile order, so I don't have to like be in the building for very long, but I don't go through the drive-thru because it takes too long. But now in the county, this county and the next county, San Joaquin, which is where I work, they like built a barricade in front of the door. So basically, if you want a mobile order pickup, you have to go through the drive-thru or call them when you get to the door, and they'll come like put it and like slide it to you. Which like I respect it. I'm like, cool. Like you're doing what you got to do to like make sure people are safe. Like I'm down for it. And I go there so often that I don't have to call them. I just show up at the door and they like, give me my stuff. So I'm like, thanks, bye.
Thanks, coffee bitch. Bye.
Pretty much. It's pretty great.
All right, we've talked enough about ourselves unless you had anything else to talk about.
I sure don't.
Okay.
Let's talk about anime news.
No, not news yet. We're just talking anime.
What?
We're just talking TV shows and anime, dude.
Okay,
You know?
I'm in for that.
This is the
I'm
media
down.
part.
I like it.
I know you haven't watched much.
Hey, I've been watching some. I'm back in it a little.
What do you feel like talking about, Kate? Tell me, what have you been watching?
I want to talk about Haikyuu.
By all means, please.
Okay.
Before the podcast, I have to say this right now. Before the podcast, you were like, don't tell Abe I have been watching Haikyuu. He gets mad that I watch stuff without him. And I was like, I for sure will not tell him.
That's true. But then I decided, he got his new schedule. We only are going to have weekends together. I already have to wait to watch Attack on Titan with him. I had to wait 2 weeks for us to watch the first episode. He will understand. Plus, I'm going to watch this season over again with him.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
So anyways, you can absolutely talk about Haikyuu.
Well, I don't really have a big lowdown because I've only watched 3 episodes of the newest season. So I've still got quite a bit to watch, but it's just a show that makes you feel real good when you watch it. I'm really excited for my boys. And I just want to rewatch the whole season, the whole show.
I'm with you.
Feel all the feels.
It's something about Haikyuu just gives such positive energy.
Yeah.
I love the show.
Even when it's really stressful and you're like, oh, I really want them to win. It feels so good to watch it.
Yeah, and even watching the other team, you're like, fuck you, other team. And then 3 episodes later, you're like, all right, I hope you guys all do the best. And I know that's what we always say on this show, but that's what it is. Yeah. And it feels so good to watch all of your homies and then meet these new homies and just cheer everybody on.
It's great.
Especially since Haikyuu does this great thing where they have somebody in the audience who's able to kind of say what's going on. And then they have other people in the audience that are like, what the fuck is that? And we're able to look at it from both perspectives because we're like, we know some things. And then we go, oh yeah, what was so important about that one? And it gives you a cool look at it from different perspectives, from the team's perspective, from some onlooker that knows what the fuck's going on, and from somebody who has no idea.
Yeah, this last episode that I watched, the audience was pretty important. Mm-hmm. They were doing the beats to throw off the other team.
There was that whole thing.
Their other cheer side were like, nuh-uh, and then they got their drums out, and it was I don't know, I never thought about sports in that way. So I was cool. This is
it gives
awesome.
Different perspectives if you haven't been there on the court, in the field, if you're not used to that kind of experience. It's totally different how stuff could be thrown off like that. And there's another bit from an episode where the pinch server comes in and his... Yeah,
I just watched that episode. Okay. That was the last one before this.
That one.
And he dope. Holds up the grocery bag.
Yeah. He's like, look at this fucking shit, you idiot. I got you.
It was so good.
That was great.
Yeah, so pretty much all I've seen this season is Haikyuu and then Attack on Titan. We watched the second episode this week.
Yeah.
For all those people that are, with it.
So first episode, I didn't know how to feel. I mean, of course, there's the 4-year time jump into the future.
It starts with all new boys.
It's getting used to the tone of these cast members and how the show's kind of working out that way. Quickly changes for the second episode. So the first one, we don't really know much. We're in the middle of war, essentially, in the first episode. So it's hard for us to connect with the characters in the same way as if they were just chilling. Second episode felt a lot more like, we're back in the Titan Marine Corps, we're figuring out this shit. It for sure feels better. When you get to the second episode, you will feel like, this is Attack on Titan. This is what I love. And then they bring up moments from the past that you're like, God damn it, this show's fucking amazing.
It is. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where the season goes. And I don't know. I guess when I first started the first episode, I didn't realize that there was the 4-year time jump. I'm not a manga reader. I didn't realize that that's what happens in the show, but I was having to explain circumstances to Abe because he was like, I'm so confused. I need to rewatch this. I have no idea where what's going on. And I was like, I don't think you're supposed to really know what's going on because
no. So
I
far, you
don't.
should know one thing, and that's that a couple of the Titans are still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
And that's all we know.
And he was like, well, I gotta rewatch this whole thing when the show's over. And I was like, I'd be down to do that. Neil is a monster. I made him into a giant monster. He rewatched.
It's all your fault, dude.
He rewatched all of Attack on Titan like 3 days before the first episode dropped. He's like, all right, I'm ready now. I just finished.
Oh my God. Attack on Titan is such a good show, though. I feel like if you have even considered watching it, you need to. Like, this is the most popular anime for a reason.
For a fucking reason.
And like, it broke records with how many people watched the first episode. It broke websites.
I was like, didn't it break Crunchyroll?
It broke the crunch. Lots of shit happened. And God damn it, I understand why. Watch the second episode and you go, this is just a bunch of story stuff. And then you're like, wait, the episode's already over?
I know. I thought it was so much shorter than the first one because I was like, no, I need more.
Yep. You for sure need more. Second episode, fantastic. Still don't know how I feel about the first episode. I might not have
I feel better about it.
After watching the second, I feel great. But the first episode, I think they might have wanted to start at a different point. Maybe not in the middle of war. Because right away, I was like into these characters at the second episode.
Well, the first episode, I started to realize, I was like, oh, like these characters have parallels. Like their characters are like parallel like to like our main like characters that you like grew up with, I guess, in the other seasons.
That you've seen grow up and all that.
Yeah.
Sure. And then they also, in the second episode, draw parallels between other characters that we didn't get to see grow in those same ways, but we definitely knew them, which was pretty cool. And there's like something that a lot of people forgot about too, or at least I know I forgot about it, is that when a lot of the Titan stuff was first starting 4 years ago, more than however many years ago, 6 years ago or whatever, whenever Amir came to be a sentient Titan, that shit like killed off a character that is a major character to the story that we're in right now, that we know nothing about. Like, he's going to clearly have some kind of a pivotal point in the plot.
I'm so excited. This show's the best.
I'm jacked the fuck up right now. I'm so stoked. Yeah, watching the second episode brought so much joy to me. I don't really have much else to say. They had better animation. They didn't have like 3D animation. They're trying to do a lot of visual camera effects. So like zoom ins and scanning across like a whole room, just all these different panning shots and emphasis on different things. They have characters that instead of just like, I don't know, the way that they move felt different. It felt like they were like rotoscoping some stuff. It looks fucking choice. Like, that's all I have to say.
I don't have any complaints with how it looks.
Yeah, they just went away from the wit style of like thick boys.
I was going to say there's a lack of thick lines, and I think that's what Neil was texting me. He was like, "It looks different. Why does it look different?" I was like, "Well, it's a new studio, but I think it's the dark lines like that are missing them." It's like I don't pay too much attention to like art style unless it's like, oh, this is actual trash.
Yeah. This art style is very true to the manga.
I like it.
And I'm down with the thick list, dude. I am fucking all about their style right now. It's dope. All right, so those are the anime you've been watching?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to talk about all the anime I've been watching.
Yes,
Let's start out with goddamn Digimon. Kari is part of the group now, and everyone's doing cool shit. Patamon turned into Anjumon and saved the day. That was a pretty big moment. But as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. The show looks so stupid at points. I fucking hate it. But then I'm like, but it's Digimon, so whatever. And I just excuse it and move on. Jujutsu Kaisen, it really fucking feels like a shonen right now, to where there are some dope fights.
Should
There's
I
some
be
cool
watching
characters. You would like it.
I love me some shonens.
You would like it for sure. But it lacks something, and it might be the way that the story is being told, something like that. But it really feels like they're going to like power scales and like, oh man, this character is going to be able to do this shit once he unlocks that. And I already see it all happening in a way that isn't that satisfying to me. Where like the first time that you see stuff like that happening in Demon Slayer, for example, you're like, okay, so this motherfucker is able to be trained by some kind of a demon slayer master guy. Cool. And then he fights nothing in the woods for years.
Yeah, and like hits like a rock like 1,000 billion jillion times.
Yeah, and then he unlocks his shit. But in this, I'm like, I don't like being able to see what's going to happen before it happens. I want it to be like oh, cool. Okay, so this is what's happening now. Oh, this is just a part of things. That makes a lot of sense for like da-da-da. But this show feels a little bit more like, all right, you already see these crazy powerful people. You see these super powerful demons, and you see this kid, and everyone's like, how is he so strong? And he's not even strong yet, It's like, it's such a glaringly obvious, this dude is the strongest motherfucker that will exist. He just needs to figure out how to utilize it. Kind of situation, and they already have a character that can goddamn like stop time. Like, I don't know. I just have very little investment because it's pretty dumb, but it looks good and it's fun. So you'll have fun with it. It's not fantastic or anything, but it's fun. And then I think that's it on Crunchyroll. I always forget because it feels like there should be more on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, there should be.
Adachi and Shimomura, the goddamn best romance I've seen in so long.
I have to watch it.
It's really good, man. Our side characters are a little couple of friends that are kind of a couple, but aren't really. Like, you get some lesbian vibes. They're for sure together at this point. We straight up had like, hey, and then as they're in the bath, she like grabs the other one's hand and is just like, you can touch my boobs. It's fine. Just like, don't mess around with my nipple too much. Don't get too grabby either. But like, you can touch my boobs. It was so fucking straightforward. I was elated. I was like, that is the kind of shit that I need to see in my romance, to where they're just straight up. They're not going to be like that weird about stuff. They're teenagers, so of course it's going to feel like awkward a little bit. And it feels like it's doing all the right shit. I'm way into it. I'm way into how they're handling each of these situations. I like that we're able to see the very timid, like Adachi and Shimomura kind of relationship that is kind of there, but isn't really. And either of them are able to be true to themselves entirely at this point. And the friends are just like lezzing it up, and I am all into it, dude. I am so happy that we get to see just like two different kinds of relationships and how they can be so different. God, it's fucking good show. It's great. Okay.
It's on my list times a million. I'm gonna watch it.
Then Akudama Drive, which is the best shonen of the season, unless you're counting Haikyuu, which of course is fucking, oh my god, it's a whole different level. This feels like the most like action-oriented show that really stands out. We're almost done with it. We're getting some like very weird, fucked up situations, lots of betrayal going on, characters dying. I am super interested to see how it ends, but I don't think this is going to be one of those shows that I'm like, god damn, the story to this show. It's just going to be one of those shows that was really fun to watch, but I might not ever remember. Man, I'm having such a blast. I look forward to it every week. It's one of my most like sought after viewings of the week, you know?
Is this on Funimation, you said?
It is. Or and Hulu, I think.
Okay.
And
if it's on Hulu,
yeah,
then I'll do it. But me and Funimation,
Adachi and Shimomura is Funimation. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Guess I'm going to have to wait or never watch it because Funimation can suck it.
One of the two. There might be something else happening very soon with...
I hope so.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got the Gymnastic Samurai. He's crushing it, dude. He's killing these events right now. and his rival guy, the little punk ass kid, he's not doing so hot. He's getting in his head and he's realizing, oh, that's how you slip up, because he was such a perfectionist. It's fun. It's fine. The big like moment of this last episode was, well, I mean, first off, of course, main character boy, the gymnastic samurai, is killing it. He's doing fucking awesome in his competition. But then the ninja that came and re-inspired everything somehow, he's about to go back home and do like ballet or some shit. I don't know. The plot in this show, it's so like whatever. It's not super memorable, but the music is on point. I really enjoy some of the animation, and the characters are sweet. So it's a really comfortable, easy watch for me. And yeah, I look forward to it every week, but it's definitely on the lower like importance.
Would you say that show reminds you at all of Yuri on Ice?
Yeah, it definitely gives me some
beats
Yuri on
that it
Ice
hits?
feelings. To where it's this kind of obscure sport. So it is a sports anime, but that's not entirely the emphasis. But whenever it is the emphasis, it's, you know, it's entertaining to watch. I would say that that's one of the least entertaining to watch shows as far as like what sport we're watching. Like that's, if you're going in it for the sport, it's not very entertaining.
Which one? The one that samurai?
Yeah, the gymnastic samurai. Not super entertaining.
Gotcha.
Yuri on Ice, the songs are fucking incredible and the whole routines are amazing.
I love that show.
You know, and then like Haikyuu, just, oh my God, every single part of it is incredible to watch them play their sport. But Gymnastic Samurai, it's a very small part of the show. It's more or less just a plot point. It's not necessarily the whole point of the show. The point of the show is to bond and grow. So whatever. The catalyst is gymnastics. Okay, then we got Wondering Witch, Journey of Elena. Show is incredible, dude. It's so good. The last episode that I talked about last week, we did a little blast from the past adventure with our two instructors, our two mentors that we're aware of. And now this last episode went and tied that story together with our current story because our main character had a run-in with the person that was in the flashback. So it was kind of like a, wait, you guys know each other kind of moment. And it was fun. It's good. I'm really, really liking Wondering Witch, Journey of Elena. I think everyone should go and check it out. It's for sure a surprise when you're not ready for what it gives you. It gives you so much. It's what I'm trying to say. So many different genres, so many different stories. It's good. Okay.
I'm in.
You're what?
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Then we have, I don't know, we're at the point where I don't really give a fuck as much. I know we have Assault Lily Bouquet, which, again, they're just doing some dumb shit. Like, main character is having a hard time, and now she's not having a hard time anymore, and they're all teamed up. And some stuff is going to happen. Still cool weapons. That's why I'm here, for cool weapons and fights. And, yeah, they're just trying to figure out how to combine each other's abilities now. So that's kind of the biggest moment. It's just when they're realizing how their abilities will work together. Some of them, like, they've shown off that one girl just has like sniper vision, essentially. Another girl is able to walk on water. One girl has just like a insane berserk mode where she doesn't have much control over herself, but she just goes fucking hard. And they're figuring out how their different abilities can work together in order to help each other out. Yeah. So it's chill.
It's been a time.
It's fucking all right. And then there's one show that I'm just not remembering right now. So I guess I don't care about that. And of course, I'm going to go and look and see if I actually do care about it. And I'm stupid. Oh, yeah. Sleepy Princess.
I was
there
like,
are two
Sleepy
shows.
Princess?
There's Sleepy Princess, which I've actually had like the theme song stuck in my head like all day. It's just like, oh, Yamasumi me. Oh, Yamasumi me. Just again, it always ends with Saya, which is her like sleeping. It's fun. I don't know. The last episode was just more of her doing her shit, and I always have a great time with it. Sleepy Princess, super solid comedy, but the problem with comedy shows is that if it doesn't have a consistent plot, it is forgetful. So I feel like this is going to definitely be one of those shows that you're just like, fuck it. But then there are other shows that can like differentiate themselves so much, like Nichijou and fucking Daily Lives of High School Boys. Those shows somehow feel so distinct and unique, despite just being like parodies and little sketches and bits. It feels so unique.
Daily Lives of High School Boys, I just remember very distinctly that scene where he's sitting on the hill and they're like, oh, he's so cool.
That's one of the best
inside
ones.
his head. It's so funny.
It's so, and they do that bit like a few times. Oh, God. It's just, if you like anime, those animes stand out because it's like almost a parody, but it's also a love letter to anime in different ways, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm really into that. And then, Hypnosis Mike. I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm disappointed.
Is it the Rap Battle Boys?
It's the Rap Battle Boys. I'm disappointed that the team that looks like they're going to wind up winning is my least favorite one. But hey, whatever. They have a healer on their team, so they can't go wrong. You know, when you rap and you're like boosting up your boys and they come back to life, that shit, you know?
I see.
It's fucking, it's fun. It's a fun concept, but I don't know, man. It's hard to care about all these characters that you only get to know through limited situations. They fight each other and they rap at each other. And one of them realized, oh my gosh, they're not rapping anything about how they're going to kick our ass or how we're worse than them. They're just kind of rapping about how good they are and just rapping. And then that leads them to win because their style is so different, you know? It's dumb. I fucking hate anime, dude. Anime sucks ass.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible. I do love anime. Why is it so good?
A small segue, speaking of anime, friggin' Duncan and I watched Princess Mononoke because he had never seen it.
Oh, yeah,
and I was
dude.
like, I'm sorry, what? How have you never seen this?
Yeah, Duncan was on the podcast and he had never seen Princess Mononoke. What the fuck?
I think he hasn't seen a lot of Ghibli movies, and I have HBO Max, so I'm like, sit down, prepare to be educated, cracks my knuckles.
Like, look, you guys. I mean, all of us here, we're all weebs. We're not going to fucking lie about it.
No.
One of the first things you do as a weeb is go, yeah, Spirited Away's cool. And then you watch all of the other movies.
Yes. All the rest.
Oh my God.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just was thinking of that and I was like, how?
Dude, yeah, you guys did just recently watch that. And yeah, when you texted me, I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
What? But that being said, like Princess Mononoke isn't one of my favorites, but it's so many people's favorite Studio Ghibli movie that you should know.
It was my first.
You should see it. Yeah. I don't know.
It's not my favorite, but it's important.
Very important. Now it's time to get into the news.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
News.
I have, first off, the biggest piece of news. Sony Funimation has bought Crunchyroll from AT&T. That shit's fucking, dude, it's all becoming one right now.
I don't know how I feel about this.
You shouldn't feel much.
I'm a little worried.
Here's the thing. You should not feel much because Sony has like so many different properties. They have so many different companies that they own, that they're in charge of, and they essentially just let the companies do their own thing and they get money for it, right? They might give some like feedback and advice and whatnot, but Sony owns Funimation. Sony also owns a bunch of other things, but AT&T owns Crunchyroll, and AT&T wasn't really doing shit. Sony's probably not going to shoot shit with Crunchyroll, but if anything, this just means that Crunchyroll can now work with Funimation and give them a better streaming platform.
Oh, you know why I hate Funimation so much is because their app is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Hot garbage, Chris. I cannot stand it. There's nothing that makes me more angry than when it doesn't work. So I just decided, fuck you, Funimation. I'm never, ever using your site ever again. So if they make it better, maybe I will open that door again.
It's not going to change anything for you. They're not going to do anything. I believe Sony, like I said, Sony owns so many different companies. They know how to work streaming stuff. They own, I think, the Australian streaming service, like Walk-In something or other. It's probably like Walk Anime. I don't think that this is going to change a lot, but this
as
is
long
just
as it
kind
doesn't
of
make
big
Crunchyroll worse.
I don't think it's going to make Crunchyroll worse.
Good.
I think if anything, this is just going to give them more opportunity to invest money into Crunchyroll and get them being a better service that everyone needs. Sony, I think, also owns HBO and stuff. Or no, AT&T owns HBO. So
yeah,
the
John
one
Oliver
thing
makes
the
John
one thing
Oliver
that
makes
you
big old jokes about it.
Yeah, and he should. But anybody that has HBO Max and is watching some of Crunchyroll's catalog on there, that might go away. That's going to be the big one, I think. Is that yeah, those shared things. I don't know what the deal with Verve is, but yeah.
Well, they still got Ghibli.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it, dude. Why not? We might get Funimation and Crunchyroll to like fuse again, and then we could just watch all of Funimation shit on Crunchyroll.
I'd be down for that.
So I'd be cool with that. Okay, next piece of news, which people are so fucking stoked about, and this was bound to happen. Chainsaw Man anime has been announced and will be animated by MAPPA. So we're getting some more of that MAPPA good. I don't know if they're gonna go for a Dorohedoro style or what. But it's gonna happen. We're getting it. Chainsaw Man.
I don't know a single thing about it, but I am excited that MAPPA's doing it. I like them.
Can you just like imagine a person, just regular ass person, no features, just like faceless person.
Okay.
Their hands are chainsaws. Their face is chainsaws. Everything's chainsaws.
I was going to be like, their hands are chainsaws. This sounds like, do you see Guns Akimbo?
Yeah. I actually just watched that a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty
fun.
entertaining.
I don't know if
it wasn't like, the best, but.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up on the podcast or anything. I didn't really want to recommend it to anybody. But it was fun.
I just love that Daniel Radcliffe is just doing weird shit. Like stuff that he like wants to do. I'm like, yes. More of this, please.
All right. You might be excited about these next two things. We'll see. Beastars Season 2 is going to be released on Netflix worldwide in July 2021. I'm
super excited.
Dude,
I loved
awesome.
Beastars Season 1 was awesome. And I was shocked because I hate that like weird.
No.
What is it? Is it 3D? I don't know what.
It's just a 3D CG anime style. Sometimes it works.
But it is great. It is great.
They killed it. They did so good with it. So we're going to get that in July. And then Funimation is now on Nintendo Switch. That happened. That's the first streaming app on the Switch, which you're not a huge fan of. But the fact that it's a new app and that
it work?
Nintendo wasn't letting anybody make apps for their Switch because they didn't want to have a shitty product is what I understood. The fact that this is the first one means something. I don't know what it means. I haven't downloaded it yet because I just found out that this was happening yesterday and I'm a busy boy, so fuck you. Like, I haven't checked it out, whatever. But that could be huge.
Let me know. If it works,
huge.
I'd be down because I have Funimation on my PlayStation and it's garbage. So and on the Fire Stick, also garbage. So if it works on the Switch, maybe.
That's the thing. It might, since it's a new app, it's new on the Switch. It might run smoother. It might run better. I don't really know. But we're going to get the reason this is so big is because a lot of people with the Switch want streaming services. They would prefer, Netflix and YouTube, the classics. But this is what we get for the first one. And if I'm going to watch something in bed, now I got my Switch next to me. It's going to be anime now. So I'm just, playing a little bit of... I was trying to think of the most animated game on the Nintendo Switch, but there are so many. And then I'm watching anime and my whole life's anime. So that's all of the news that I got right now.
I like it. That's some big news, though.
Yeah, some big stuff this week. I didn't want to go too hard on it because I knew that we would have a little bit of catching up to do. But we're not going to spend a lot of time on our topic because, like I said, it was 45 minutes long. There's not a lot to say. But we're going to talk
By now, you could have already watched the entire thing.
Yeah, you could have watched it almost twice now. Into the Forest of Fireflies Light. The studio that made it is Brains Base. They've done Durarara, My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU, and Natsume's Book of Friends, amongst a bunch of other things. And those are just the first ones that I chose because they're all popular for different reasons. And then I looked at the director, Oomori Takahiro. He's directed and done like a bunch of other stuff on these projects. He's directed Baccano, Durarara, Natsume's Book of Friends, and a ton of other stuff that's also very successful for Brains Base. I was like, oh, this is just the Brains Base guy. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And as I was watching the movie, because I watched the movie after I looked up this information, I was just like, yeah, this is Natsume's Book of Friends. Like, this is just before Natsume happened. I'm just watching it thinking, okay, we got a bunch of spirits in the forest. I can't wait until this is a TV show. You know?
I hope I liked it a lot.
So if you did like it a lot, you should watch Natsume's Book of Friends.
I'm gonna.
It's specifically like this movie in that, like, there are all these different spirits that kind of need help with stuff, and there's just like a chill dude who's able to help out the spirits. So you're just seeing all these different spirits that are all super cool and friendly with each other, and they're like, never fuck with our human friend, which is more or less what this movie was, except, you know, he was a spirit and not a human.
Never touch him.
So anyways, Into the Forest of Fireflies Light. Doesn't really matter how I found it, but I found it and I was like, okay, it's time to watch this. It's cool. It's got some shrine stuff going on. This will be dope. The name of the movie, I don't feel like is super significant. I feel like they were just trying to take like a vague idea and put it into words for the English name. I don't know. It's I mean, if you know Natsume's Book of Friends, it's Natsume's Book of Friends, but it's like a 45-minute episode about different kinds of characters. If you know Mushishi, this is very much like Mushishi, as if we're seeing a whole story play out that isn't with our main character, Ginkgo. It's a super chill time. It's pretty lighthearted. I felt a little uncomfortable with some of the choices they made, but it's solid.
It gave me some very light Spirited Away vibes.
Yeah. Well,
just
especially at the end.
Yeah. And I recognized some of the voice actors like
you always do.
Right away.
Yeah, that's how you can tell.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, I know
who
her.
do we have in this? Who do you know?
Okay, this is like my 2 notes that I wrote for myself. The girl is
young or old?
I think it's the same.
Oh, really?
I think she
okay.
does.
I didn't really pay
I think
attention.
she voices I think it's the same voice actress the entire time. But in My Hero, the gravity floaty girl,
yeah,
Uraka,
yeah,
it's her. And then also, just from watching Attack on Titan, that one girl, Gabby, I think.
Gabby, yep, same character, same
I was like,
voice actress.
I just heard her like yesterday, so I was like, I recognize this girl's voice,
dude, for sure.
I was gonna make you check and tell me if I was right, but if you're agreeing, then I'm right.
You're right with the whole Gabby Odoraka thing. Yeah, you're right about that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure, because I just watched some Haikyuu, that our spirit boy is Susuki, the tall one with glasses.
Oh yeah, Suki. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Dog, and he was just in last week's episode. What the fuck? Maybe it wasn't last week. Maybe it was the week before. I don't remember. Huh.
I think it was the week before.
Seraph of the End, whatever.
Yeah, whenever
I don't
that
remember
was.
what each episode is.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I just listened to him in My Volleyball Boys.
And realistically, they're the only 2 characters that have any importance in this story. you could say a little bit of importance on the grandpa, but mostly he's just there to like contextualize shit, or uncle or whatever the fuck he was.
Old man. There you go.
Okay, so the whole point of this story is to just kind of explore the spirit world a little bit and show a connection that a spirit has with a human. And it doesn't have that much of a plot, but it just has the idea of these two people share a special relationship because she got lost in the forest. He found her and was able to help her find her way out of the forest. And then she comes to like give him a gift the next day. And it starts a tradition where every summer when she comes and stays with her uncle, she's able to come and hang out with him. And they just have that connection where they just chill in the forest and vibe and have fun.
Yeah.
It's not a super strong plot point, you guys. It's just
time. I feel like it's about like the time progressing, like how
really
things
is.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
It's able to show the relationship through the years, how she starts out as a very young child, you know, getting lost
with
in the forest.
Murder on her mind.
Yeah, which was fucked up. So, okay. She's like, oh no, I'm lost, and crying. And he's like, hey, fucking dummy. And she goes, oh my God, it's a human. Thank you. You saved me. And she goes and tries to like hug him, and he dodges that, and she falls and cries again. And he was like, no, dude, you can't touch me, because if you touch me, I'll disappear forever. Like, I will die.
I'll be obliterated.
Later he says he'll be obliterated. And she's like, yes. I will touch you now. And like tries to grab him right away. I'm like, I fucking hate little kids, dude. Why you gotta learn that way? Be nice. Respect people. But
yeah. She does that like 3 times. I'm like, dude, you were a murderer.
Right?
You're trying to be a murderer.
Straight up trying to kill him. So then some time passes, like more or less she just wants to be friends with him. She's like, it's cool, he's nice, he helped me, like, thank you. And he says he's a spirit that if he gets touched, then he disappears. Can't confirm it. And then the next day she comes back and she's like, here's a gift. And he's like, very cool. Let's hang out, I guess. And they just go chilling in the forest. And then a spirit's just like, hey. And she's freaking out like, oh God, what's happening? And he's like,
she looked like a scary fat no face.
Yeah. And it's just like, if you fucking touch him, I will eat you. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Very cool. These spirits are looking out for their boy. I support it. And then he says something, or she says something. I don't remember. And the spirit gets scared, turns into a fox spirit, and runs away. And essentially that's where we get to learn that everyone is homies with him. Everyone knows he's a spirit. And now it just got confirmed. She just saw some spirit shit. He's for sure a spirit. These spirits are looking out for him. And then another spirit's just like, a tree spirit comes down and grabs him using branches.
Yeah, he's like, it's dangerous. Don't be near a human.
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, don't worry, this one's cool.
I like this one.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he likes that specific little girl. Time passes. It's the next summer. They're still vibing. Nothing really changes. They just kind of vibe. And then I think another year, it's like 3 years or something pass. And then she's a little older, just goofing off in a tree, and the branch breaks, and she's taking a tumble. She's about to fucking die. So, of course, he panics and is gonna grab her. And quickly he's like, oh, wait, dumb idea. And she also realizes that at that moment, she's like, holy shit, dude, never touch me. You'll die. Don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I feel like at that point, like, very cool that she was able to grow and realize that. Well, and it's a whole different thing of being like, no, dude, I care about you. You can't kill yourself.
It showed her, like, growth. And then, like, she, like, started to cry after. She was like, you idiot. You can't fucking touch me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're going to die. It's like, oh, well. I forgive you for your earlier murder years.
She didn't understand what she was doing at the time. But yeah, then it shows that connection that they have. But I'm also like, y'all should have maybe, I don't know, worked out a system.
Yeah, planned out this, talked about this, like, logistics.
I feel like you would have to. I don't know for sure, but oh, by the way, I haven't talked about the look of this. It looks like Natsume's Book of Friends. It straight up looks like it. So yeah, we get to see that little interaction, and then they talk a little bit more about like, hey, by the way, I know you always wear that fucking mask, but like, could you take it off? I know it makes you look more like a spirit, but like, come on, take it off when we're hanging out. And he's like, yeah, I'll take it off when we're hanging out sometimes, I guess, just around you.
But then he like doesn't.
Yeah, until one scene where he's just like checking some shit out with his mask off.
He's like a butterfly. Or whatever.
Yeah, he's just fucking looking at a butterfly. It's like, oh, that warrants you taking off your mask? Okay. Whatever. But yeah, they're still friends over these years, but then more time skips and they're about the same age. She's thought like, oh man, I'm gonna pass him in age because he's stuck in this same spirit body. He's just gonna always look the same while I keep growing.
She's in high school at this point, right?
Yeah, she's in high school. And they look like they're about the same age at this point. And I think that this is when we get to learn about when he was dropped off in the spirit forest and he was just a little baby.
As a baby. Yeah. That's when I think they went to the festival first.
Did they? I don't remember. It's all pretty much the same.
No, you're right. He learned about it and then they go to the festival.
Okay. Yeah, and how did he become boy?
So, okay, he was a baby.
Uh-huh.
His parents abandoned him in the forest.
As they do,
then, yeah, and so he's crying as a baby and the spirits all like crowd around him and give him that mask that he wears all the time.
Uh-huh.
And like that's the only time that he stopped crying. And then the spirits like took care of him, like put a spell on him so that he would like stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's dead.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I got from him.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's going to disappear if a human ever touches him. That's it.
And also have to make sure here. Again, why is he boy? Because at the time he was baby. And
That's
now
true.
he is boy. And he does not age.
How did he grow?
How is
Maybe
grow?
he just... Maybe he's just... They never specify like how long he's been in the forest. Like forever.
Yeah, I guess it could be the fucking
maybe
centuries.
He's grown. Maybe he has grown, and then he just would continue to grow if he's been in the forest for like, I don't know, 40 years already.
Mm-hmm.
But
you think it's just at like a substantially less recognizable rate?
I think so. Because at the end, the spirits are like, thanks.
Yeah.
He had to go.
Yeah. But
I don't know. They never specify.
See, if that's the way it is, this next part we're talking about, I got some fucking issues with it. And I had issues leading up to this part, but I didn't want to affirm them until this. Okay.
Continue.
They go to this goddamn Spirited Away festival. All the spirits are having a hype-ass time. They link each other together so they don't get lost with a cloth, which is next level moves. Which also, if that works out, wouldn't being able to touch somebody's clothes make them like not disappear or like whatever?
Well, she touched his mask. Remember?
She touched his mask, but that might have been specifically his mask. I don't know about the clothing. That's the thing that I never understood. I'm like, shouldn't they still be able to like
just
touch each other? Like, yeah,
wear a bunch of gloves.
Yeah,
like, no real touches.
Yo, homies, just wear gloves. I don't fucking know. Like, that's how I felt about it. But I digress. They were chilling at this Spirited Away festival, having a great time, just doing a bunch of cool spirit shit. Everyone was having fun. And then there's a moment near the end there where he like kisses her with the mask on.
Yeah,
like,
so he puts the mask. He puts the mask on her face.
Yeah, and he's like, you should have this.
And then he kisses the mask.
Yeah, and he kisses the mask. So he like essentially kisses her, which just confirmed that there was some fucking not okay shit going on there with this old ass spirit and this tiny little kid that he like groomed into his Spirited Away girlfriend. I was not okay with that. But I know what they were trying to do, and I know that that wasn't their intention, and they wanted it to be a sweet story, but it just is a little problematic. I don't know.
I think that there just wasn't any like explanation of like how old is he? Like how, and maybe as Americans we get stuck on it and it's not like
no.
But also
I think that in this day and age,
when I watched it, I didn't think of like, oh, he's really old, or oh, he's like a baby and now he's a man.
So
I didn't think of those things.
What I was thinking when I was watching it, I was like, okay, so he's stuck at this age. And I was treating it as if he is this age right now. And then the like 10 years go by and he's still that same age, but he fucking groomed her, dude. Like, even if you're looking at it that way, it's some like fucked up shit, you know?
Well, I don't know.
I'm just being pedantic about the whole thing, but I'm just saying it was a little bit, maybe you wouldn't have made that decision. This 2020, baby.
I feel it.
Anyways,
I can see where you're coming from.
That happened, and I was like, I'm not very okay with this. But I guess whatever the fuck, who cares? And this fucking dumbass kid, this little goddamn freak, this human boy, like all the spirits there looked like humans for whatever reason.
Yeah, they were all in disguise, and there's a line, I guess we should say earlier, where he's like, yeah, sometimes even humans are here and they don't even know that we're all spirits, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So the fact that he knew that makes me more upset too. But this little fucking dumbass goes running by and he trips, and our boy is such a good boy. He's like, I'm going to help this spirit not fall right now, and grabs him. And then his fingers start like fucking fire flying away. They're just like glowing and drifting into the sky. And if he knew that there were other people there that didn't even realize everyone was spirits, and like, I don't know, man. I had problems with this. Did I have a good time? Yeah, I had a fucking good time. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I wouldn't tell people to go and watch it, but it's like 45 minutes. It's whatever.
It's really like 35 minutes and then some credits.
Like a 10-minute
That's really how
song.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was so whatever at this point. I had a good time. I was really enjoying the relationship and seeing them grow. I liked the whole festival thing. I was like, ew, relationship stuff. Yeah, we'll just forget about that. I was like, this fucking dummy never helped anybody.
He starts disintegrating, and then he's like, hurry, we can hug now. And then she hugs him, and then he disappears.
No. I would like to go back before they finished hugging. I would like to go to the part where instead of like crying, she had the biggest goddamn smile on her face as she hugged this motherfucker, as he's dying, as he's disappearing for fucking ever. She was so stoked, dude. She was like, I get the hug, and only cared about herself.
I think it was more of like she's conflicted. She wanted to touch him. They had that whole scene with her on the ice and her friend from school, like holding her hand, like, so she didn't fall. Mm-hmm. And I think like just, it was like more of like a conflict. Like, I really, really do want to like, just touch you.
Yeah.
And I think she was excited for that, because then as soon as he disappeared, she's like bawling, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. But I just wanted to go back to that little like serial killer when she was 6 years old.
That's right. That's what she wanted this whole time.
This is what she's been
after.
Gotcha, bitch. She's like, I fucking did it. And then she goes, oh
gotcha.
No, but that was my friend though. Oh no. I don't know. I just felt like that reaction was inappropriate, and it should have been a little bit different. But like, I don't know. I just suddenly, at the end of this movie, I'm like, oh, we got some problems. The whole time I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good ass time. And at the end, I wish that they had done a couple of things differently. But dude, it was fun. I had a good time.
It just like ended really suddenly.
By the way, it was over at this point.
She walks through the forest and the spirits thank her for helping him like go away. Yeah. Pretty much.
And then she just like walks home to her uncle.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. She walks from her uncle, and that's it.
And a pretty song plays at the end. There was cool music throughout, by the way. I was into the music.
There was. The music was good. And like the ambiance of it.
Yeah.
I liked it. But like the pacing of it, I understand it being short, and I'm all down for like short little vignettes of stuff, but it felt like the climax of it was over just super fast. There wasn't any like, I don't know. It just was very strange to me.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm with you.
Oh, it's
just
over.
But where else would that story go?
Yeah, that's true. But they could have like had more of like her like emotion, like a little bit longer.
Yeah. I don't know.
It
should have. There were parts of it that didn't feel very substantial. That should have focused a little bit more on what our characters are feeling, what the next like part in their life is going to be. They didn't focus at all in the in-betweens of summers, really, other than like having that friend and like touching his hand. That was pretty much it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It was fine. But definitely like it feels like it's just a predecessor for Natsume's Book of Friends, which is dope. Like I can imagine seeing that kind of a story in Natsume's Book of Friends and being like, oh, that's a fucking good story. But as the entire thing, as the entire world, as the entire story, nah. You could pass on this one. But honestly, if that whole spirit idea, seeing this relationship between these characters, if that really appeals to you in any way, if the correlation between like Mushishi and this story is something that you might be interested in, check out Natsume's Book of Friends. It's just solid.
Yeah.
Natsume Yujincho,
it.
dude. It's pretty fun. I watched a little bit and was having a good time with it, but I decided that it's too calm.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like Mushishi, I was way into that because it was also like, ooh, is this going to be fucked up? But Natsume's Book of Friends doesn't really dive into super fucked up stuff.
Maybe I'll have to check it out. I've been in an emotional, a little bit of a bad place.
Yeah. Dude.
With the end of Supernatural, I like bawled my eyeballs out. So I need some calm stuff. I need some volleyball boys.
Yeah, you just need that support right now.
I need some support.
And Natsume's Book of Friends, they all just, it's the same thing where all the spirits wind up going like, nah, he's our boy. And then like, nah, his grandma is our girl. Like, stuff like that. They're just defending the family.
Sweet.
It's cool as fuck. And that's everything that we got for you this week on the podcast. I don't know what's going to happen next week, but we're going to do some kind of a thing. And yeah, I hope that you guys had a good time listening to us. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Kate, for taking time out of your busy life to
You're welcome.
Join us.
I will always invite myself to your podcast. If Juan is busy next week, I'm available.
All right. Well, now we know who the new host is going to be when Juan dies.
Yeah, bye, Juan.
But if not, like, whatever, we'll just whatever. It's cool. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. You could go ahead and find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to find us on Twitter, tweet at Instant Ramen Pod. Podcast.
Okay, wait. Sorry. What does he always say right there?
Podcast didn't fit. Podcast didn't fit.
Oh.
That's why
I was like, every single time I'm like, what? I got it.
It's just been a bit since day one, so fuck it.
I got it. I like it. Continue. Now I know.
And you can find us somewhere. Oh, yeah, you can send us an email, instagrampodcast@gmail.com. We usually stream every week on Twitch, and you could watch our past streams, twitch.tv/Crispather. Thank you guys once again. This is bye from Chris.
This is bye from Kate.
And Kate, don't forget,
just add hot water.
You know what you're ready to talk about?
Haikyuu.